If you are a woman over 60 and you feel like you have zero control over your sugar cravings, I want you to know something that changed everything for me and for every woman I've ever worked with. Sugar cravings after 60 are not a willpower problem. They are a biology problem. And once you understand what is actually driving them, you will never feel guilty about a craving again. I'm Nagina Abdullah. I have a degree in molecular and cell biology from UC Berkeley, and I've helped over 1,700 women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s break the sugar cycle for good. Not by cutting out the foods they love, but by understanding what's happening in their body. Today, I'm going to show you the exact biology behind your cravings, why everything you've tried so far has not worked, and 3 things that you can add to your day that break the cycle starting tomorrow. Let me walk you through exactly what happens in your body when you eat something sweet. You eat sugar or a piece of fruit, a piece of bread, any refined carbohydrate on its own, and your blood sugar spikes fast. Your body registers that as a problem. So it releases insulin from the pancreas to bring that blood sugar back down. Now, let me explain what insulin is actually doing, because this is what most doctors skip. Insulin is a hormone produced by your pancreas. Think of it like a key. When blood sugar rises, insulin is released into your bloodstream. Its job is to unlock your cells so they can absorb the sugar from your blood and either use it for energy or store it. The problem is the storing part. When your blood sugar spikes fast, from eating sugar or refined carbs on their own, your pancreas releases a large amount of insulin all at once. That large insulin response pulls the sugar out of your blood aggressively and converts it to fat for storage. That is why the same food that might have been fine years ago can now be going straight to your belly. And here's the part nobody explains. When insulin does that job, your blood sugar doesn't just come back to normal, it drops lower. That low blood sugar is what you feel as a crash, the tiredness, the brain fog, the sudden desperate need for something sweet. That craving that you felt an hour after eating, that is your blood sugar in a crash. Your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do, finding a quick source of energy to bring blood sugar back up. So you eat more sugar. Blood sugar spikes again, insulin floods in again, fat stores again, blood sugar crashes again, and cravings hit again. This is the sugar cycle, and it's almost impossible to break through willpower alone, though that's what so many women are trying so hard to use. But this is not a willpower problem. It's a blood sugar and insulin problem. Now, here's the piece that explains why this cycle gets so much more intense after menopause. It comes down to one thing: insulin resistance. Insulin resistance means your cells have stopped responding to insulin as well as they used to. Remember, insulin is the key that unlocks your cells to absorb blood sugar. When you're insulin resistant, the key stops fitting as well. Your cells become less sensitive, so your body has to produce more and more insulin just to do the same job. Here's what that looks like in practice. You eat the same apple you've eaten for years. In your 30s, your body released a small, appropriate amount of insulin. Your cells absorbed the sugar smoothly. Blood sugar came back to normal quietly. You felt fine. After menopause, with insulin resistance, your body now releases a much larger amount of insulin in response to that same apple. Your cells are less responsive, so your body overcompensates. That big insulin response stores more sugar as fat, and then the blood sugar crash is harder and faster than it used to be. This is why you may be eating the exact same thing you always ate, the same apple, the same oatmeal, the same crackers at lunch, and they're affecting you completely differently now. You're more tired. You're more hungry an hour later. Your cravings are worse than they've ever been. This is not your imagination. That is insulin resistance, changing how your body processes every single meal. And here is one more layer. A healthy gut lowers insulin resistance. It makes your cells more responsive to insulin, so your body doesn't have to overproduce it. But after menopause, your gut changes. Helpful bacteria decline, harmful bacteria take over, and that worsening gut environment directly increases insulin resistance. So you have two things feeding the problem at once: the hormonal shift of menopause, naturally increasing insulin resistance, and a disrupted gut making it worse. That is why the same foods that never bothered you before are now causing weight gain and cravings that feel out of control. This is not something wrong with you. This is a biological cascade, and it can actually be changed and interrupted. And there is one more driver of sugar cravings that almost nobody talks about: harmful gut bacteria. After menopause, harmful bacteria can take over in your gut, and those bacteria feed on sugar and refined carbohydrates. So they produce chemical signals that travel to your brain and create intense cravings for exactly what they need to survive. Think about that for a moment. You're not craving the donut. The bacteria are craving the donut, and they're sending signals to your brain to get it. This is why cravings after menopause can feel so powerful, so sudden, so completely disconnected from actual hunger, because often they are. When you start feeding the beneficial bacteria and starving the harmful ones, those cravings lose their hold, not through willpower, but through biology. Before I show you what to do, I want to tell you about Kathleen. Kathleen was 75 when we started working together. 75. She had spent years feeling like the weight and the belly bloat and the cravings were just something she had to accept, that this was just what life looked like right now. We addressed both the blood sugar side and the gut health side together. She did my bloat bust program alongside the food combining and blood sugar work, because as I've talked about in other videos, these two things are deeply connected. Kathleen didn't just reach her weight loss goal, she went below it. She lost 30 pounds at age 75, and she is so happy and thrilled with herself, her life, and her body. And that belly bloat that made her feel like she couldn't recognize herself in the mirror, that was gone too. This is what happens when you stop fighting your body and start working with the biology that is actually running the show. Now, I want to show you exactly what to do. 3 things that you can start adding today. We are not removing anything. We are adding things that change how your body responds to everything else. Number 1, protein at every meal, especially breakfast. Protein is the single most powerful food for stabilizing blood sugar. It digests slowly, which means energy is released gradually, not in a spike. When you have 30 grams of protein at breakfast, you're essentially building a buffer around everything you eat for the rest of the day. I wore a continuous blood sugar monitor to watch what was happening in my own body. When I skipped protein, a piece of fruit would spike my blood sugar and crash it hard an hour later. When I added protein, like eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, a protein smoothie with protein powder or with Greek yogurt, the same fruit barely moved my blood sugar at all. Protein doesn't just reduce cravings, it physically prevents the spike and crash cycle from happening over and over. Number 2, cinnamon. Having cinnamon every morning is amazing. Cinnamon is one of the most well-researched natural blood sugar stabilizers available. It helps lower blood sugar levels and reduce insulin spikes after eating. Just 1/8 of a teaspoon in your coffee or tea or over your fruit is amazing and perfect. It takes 5 seconds and it starts working immediately. 3, never eat carbs or sugar alone. Every time you eat something that contains sugar or starch, like a piece of fruit, rice, a cookie, pair it with a protein or a healthy fat. Nut butter with your apple, Greek yogurt with your berries, almonds with your crackers, eggs with your toast. When you add protein or fat, it slows digestion. Sugars enter your bloodstream gradually. Blood sugar stays even. Insulin stays low. No spike, no crash, no craving. You are not giving up the foods you love. You are changing what you eat them with, and that changes everything. One more tool, specifically for meals and for when you want to enjoy a treat. Have 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in a glass of water. Take it 1 to 10 minutes before a meal or before dessert. And this has been shown to reduce your blood sugar spike from that meal by over 50%. If you're going out to dinner, if there's a dessert you want to enjoy, if you're at a holiday party, you can have it. And the blood sugar response will be dramatically reduced when you add that 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar to a glass of water. It could be warm water, cold water, it could be tea, it could be anything that you enjoy. You can use a straw to protect your tooth enamel also if you can. Raw, unfiltered Bragg's is widely available. That's the brand. but you can find any brand really. This is one of those tips that once you know it, you'll use it for the rest of your life. Here is your one homework action. Tomorrow morning, cinnamon in your coffee or tea, just a sprinkle. It's really just like 1/8 of a teaspoon or less. That's it. That one change starts stabilizing your blood sugar from the very first moment of your day. And when your blood sugar is stable, the cravings lose their power. And if you want to go deeper, I have a free resource called the Sweet Spice Cheat Sheet. I teach you the science behind the sweet spice, 5 ways to use it in your day, and a belly fat burning tea recipe that you can make tonight. And you likely have this spice in your kitchen cabinet right now. The link is in the description below. And if this video helped you understand something about your body that you didn't know before, please subscribe. I post every week specifically for women in their 60s and 70s who are done being told that their cravings are their fault and are ready to have an amazing body where you feel great every single day with no bloating and no digestion issues. Those issues are not your fault. And now you know what to do instead. I'm Nagina Abdullah, and I will see you next time.